Terry, what are you thinking as we come up on kickoff?
Hey, if you love football and if you like offensive football, this has got to be a dream for you. Sitting back at home, you got Steve Young, Troy Aikman, great receivers both sides, great running game. I mean, we got it all right here today. It's going to be one of the best games you've ever seen. I believe that.
Matt, they played before. Dallas won. Is there any advantage to either side coming off of that?
Yeah, it's a big advantage if you're playing the same team, but these are two different teams of the last time they played. Defensively, the 49ers have gotten better. Offensively, they're clicking. Dallas is really clicking. We are going to see a fast-paced, high-scoring game, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the Cowboys are at home. That's the advantage.
All right, Terry. Jerry Rice, arguably the best wide receiver ever, will be on the field today. Our Jim Gray caught up with him a short while ago.
Jerry, what's the mood of the team? You guys upbeat, quiet? Can you gauge it?
I would say focused and just ready to go out and get the job done. You know, there's been a lot of talk going on this week, and, you know, it's time for us to go out and play football now.
Do you have any predictions? You guys have pretty well avoided getting in that chatter game.
We're not going to waste time with that. You know, I feel like you have to play the game on the football field. This team really have prepared well this week, and we're just looking forward to the challenge, and it's going to be a good football game.
Jerry, how important is it for you guys to score first and get on the board and maybe run them out like you did the Giants last week?
I think the most important thing is execution. You know, once we take the football field, we got from all phases, we got to play well, and you know, it's up to the older players to go out, you know, make big plays, and the younger players, they're going to get the job done also. And you know,
is striking early important?
I don't think so with this team because, you know, we have a very balanced team. If things shouldn't go our way, we just have to just hang in there and just try to make plays down the road.
Jerry Rice getting his game face on. Jim Gray is with us today, and so is Leslie Visser down on the field. Let's go down there. Leslie.
Greg, as the Cowboys have been coming on the field, they say that the locker room was excited, but business as usual. They said that Jimmy Johnson offered no fire and brimstone speech. Kicker Eddie Murray, who's been in the league 14 years and never been to the Super Bowl, said that he thought that Johnson's prediction of victory was a brave comment. He said it was in part to fire up the fans, who last week Murray said were more like a tennis crowd. I went over and asked Jimmy if this were true, and he said, yes, it is, but they'll be fired up today by my, what he called, no money back guarantee. Greg.
All right, Leslie, he's not the only. They'll tell you he's going to be fired up. It's noisy here, and the place is barely half full now.
Well, exactly. What Jimmy Johnson wanted to get done by that little pregame talk, affect the fans, boy, it's done it. Halfway full, and they are rocking.
Yeah, that's it. You know, and one of the things the crowd will do in a game like this, you know, it limits audibles, but if people want to see some bombs football, really bombs, look for third and short situations today. That'll be the time when you see both teams go man-to-man, and that's where the big plays will come. It won't come on third and long. It's going to come on third and short, and that's where the gambles will be taken by both these offenses.
Jim Gray, Leslie Visser down on the field. Matt, Terry, and I up here. We're getting set for the NFL today as we approach the NFC Championship, San Francisco and Dallas.
Ah, yes. If you have an urgent
stadium and John Madden, first of all, I think the key to the Cowboys has to be Emmitt Smith and his health.
Yeah, and, you know, you just watch the players down there, and we were talking to Emmitt Smith the other day, and we know that he has a separated shoulder, and their whole offense is based around his being able to run. He said, the shoulder still bothers me. The shoulder's still separated, but once I get out there in the field in the pregame warm-up, and then the introductions and the game starts, then adrenaline takes over, and I think that'll be able to get me through the game.
You know, you talk about adrenaline and emotion, and you've been through it as a coach. I've been through it as a player. What thoughts do you remember going through your head at a time like this before the NFC Championship game?
I loved it. I mean, if there's anything better than this, if there's anything better than being in the big games, I don't know what it is. I mean,
well,
to me,
what
this,
you're after.
Yeah, you're after that. It's what it's all about. And, you know, the finality of it, I mean, the winner goes to the Super Bowl. The winner's going to be in the Super Bowl next week, and the loser, they don't get to play again until August.
Well, you know, one of the things that I can recall from being in a championship game in a situation like this is you're aware of the crowd when you first come out, and then all of a sudden it becomes very quiet. The crowd becomes just something that's there. You know it's there, but you don't even think about it. You're not even conscious.
I think the crowd, I think that's true of the crowd. I think what Jimmy Johnson said before the game, I think what George Seifert said before the game, I think what any player said before the game, I think once that thing is kicked off and you get into that first quarter, all those things go away. This is big.
It should be a great afternoon here at Texas Stadium. Now let's go back to Jim Brown.
All right, Patrick, and I'm sure those are folks who are thinking that it was Jim Brown, the football player, but no, basketball indeed, as we take a look.
Across 5 continents.
Cowboys will host their first NFC Championship since 1977. Their opponents today, the San Francisco 49ers, and at stake, a trip to Super Bowl 28 in Atlanta 1 week from today. And the local fans are eager to see their heroes, once again, America's team, continue their playoff role. Dallas hopes rest on the $50 million arm of Troy Aikman, last year's Super Bowl MVP, who's looking for an encore that would make him a legend. Meanwhile, San Francisco Steve Young seeks to escape the shadow of his legendary predecessor, Joe Montana. And Young will have to come up big today in order to earn his Super Bowl shot. Today's weather, cloudy skies, temperature in the 50s with a 20% chance of rain. And hello, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel.
I'm Terry Bradshaw.
And we welcome you to the NFL today. The 49ers and the Cowboys are playing as they did 1 year ago for this, the George S. Halas Trophy, awarded to the NFC champions. Now, last year, this 70-yard play from Troy Aikman to Cowboys wide receiver Alvin Harper broke open a close game and helped propel the Cowboys to their first Super Bowl appearance in 15 years. And it doesn't take much to get my partner excited. This is an excitable time, and you can see it in the players' faces.
You and I have been stuck in the studio all year. I tell you, it's great to be at a game, be on a game site, an NFC Championship game, Greg, where today you got to expect all the great things of football. Great passes, great runs, maybe even some special teams plays from Jimmy Johnson. It's everything that football should be, and I'm just happy that we're here to cover it.
Me too. Roving reporters Leslie Visser and Jim Gray are with us. They're down on the field. Let's check in first with our Jim Gray, who's been following the 49ers.
All right, thank you very much, Greg and Terry. The 49ers come into this game very healthy. They arrived here at the stadium about 3 hours ago, and most of them congregated around the television set, watching their former teammate Joe Montana as the Chiefs played the Bills. Well, much of the hype for this game came from Jimmy Johnson, the Cowboys coach. He's predicted a victory. Now, the 49ers basically ignored that all week. That is until this afternoon when we spoke to running back Ricky Waters.
It's total seriousness right now. Everybody's ready to get on that field and get to playing. Kind of drug a little bit. You know, last 2 days we have been here and laying around the hotel. We're ready to get into it now.
Nervous, feeling anxious?
Not at all. No nervous at all. Everything is all positive. We just want to get out there and handle our business.
Prediction this morning?
Oh, we're going to win the game. We have to. We have to shut them up.
Now, the only way the 49ers are going to be able to accomplish that is if they don't turn the ball over. In their last 2 meetings with the Cowboys, they turned the ball over 6 times, accounting for 24 Cowboy points. That's almost half their point production. Well, a short time ago, I spoke with Tom Rathman about the 49ers avoiding mistakes.
We can't make mistakes today. I think if you look at the game we played against the Cowboys during the regular season, we made a couple mistakes which were critical in the outcome. No question about it, we have to have our quarterback play well. He has to make good decisions, and he did that last week, and I really see him doing that again today.
Now, I spoke with several of the 49ers, and they tell me they're very nervous. In fact, they really have no confidence in their kicker, Mike Kosar. Kosar's just 17 for 27, 61% on the year. In fact, he missed an extra point last week. The 49ers do not want this game to come down to the foot of Mike Kosar. However, there is some optimism by the 49ers. There is some confidence. Their bags are already packed, and they will head east to Atlanta tonight should they win. Now, for more, let's head east across the field to our Leslie Visser. Leslie?
Jim, the Dallas Cowboys are equally confident of victory. Their Cowboy charter is scheduled to leave for Atlanta tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and Emmitt Smith told me he plans to be on it. Well, there is good news about Emmitt Smith. He told me he feels close to 100% healthy and that he will not take either an anti-inflammatory shot or a painkiller today for his separated shoulder. We'll have more on Emmitt later. Well, as for Troy Aikman, he knows that the Cowboys were not flawless last week. They turned the ball over 3 times. They have got to protect the ball today, and a little while ago, I asked him about it.
Well, I think the big key, number one, is eliminating turnovers, both for us and I think for San Francisco to be successful. They're going to have to keep from turning the ball over, and that's been the difference in the 2 games that we've had. And so I think that if we're able to do that, I really feel that it's important for us to establish the running game early and get that going and try to be as balanced as what we can.
Your coach predicted a victory. Is he nuts?
He's been accused of that before, yeah.
Defensively, Russell Maryland is almost fully recovered from his sprained ankle that he suffered against the Giants on January 2nd. He will play. He won't start, in part because Leon Letton has been playing so well. Well, of course, the Cowboys' pass rush hinges on the health of Charles Haley. He told me this is the best that his back has felt in weeks, although he will face postseason surgery. He's extremely motivated for this game. You might remember he played for the 49ers for 6 years. He has a real bitterness toward them after the way he was released. He told me he's been looking forward to this game all year, and so have we. Greg?
Leslie, thank you. Now, you saw Troy Aikman a short while ago. Terry feels in critical situations, you won't see Troy throwing down the middle of the field today.
Yeah, here's a formation, folks. We know the Cowboys like to throw the ball out here. We know they like to throw it here. We also like they like the deep sideline patterns, and then they get Novacek in this area and their backs. But one of the keys in 3rd down with this formation, when you have Harper, and then this is Williams over here, and then Irvin out here. This is number 85 rookie Kevin Williams. He is in the slot, and one of the problems with he's in the slot, he is the man that's responsible for reading and going down the middle and running the deep ends. The problem with this is he screwed it up last week, ran the wrong route, caused an interception by the Cowboys, and Aikman may not have the confidence in him. There's the break. Now he sees the safety. He should be coming right here, but he says, oh, no, I'll just go this way. Troy throws it for here. Then you get the interception. And I think this week, Greg, one of the real keys is whether or not Troy Aikman will take and put another receiver in that slot, because if they go 3 wide and Kevin Williams is in the slot, look for the 49ers double the outside, single up the guy on the slot, and Williams has got to win Troy Aikman's confidence today.
All right, Terry. As we heard, Jimmy Johnson dominated the headlines with a brash, even by his standards, prediction of victory. Earlier today, I asked him why he'd make such locker room bulletin board material.
Well, I thought, our team was starting to get a little bit tight. I wanted to loosen them up a little bit. I think they did get a little bit loose after I made my statement. The biggest thing is I believe it. The only thing I'm saying is, in my opinion, I think we're going to win the ball game. Now, I think a lot of people took off on that, and it caused quite a stir. But more than anything else, we're playing at home, and I think we're going to win the ball game.
Did you feel it last year when you were going to San Francisco?
Yeah, that was a little bit tighter situation there playing at Candlestick. And I think the 49ers have a great football team. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's going to be a great game. But the only thing I'm doing is stating my opinion.
What did you think of George Seifert's reaction when he said it? You got guts.
Did he say guts?
Something like that.
Well, I thought it was good. I liked his reply, and the only thing I said back to him was, they are not paper mache.
You didn't think...
A lot of guts. Yeah.
That guarantee didn't come as a surprise to you.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, I would have been more impressed with Jimmy Johnson if he had to board a plane and go to San Francisco than I am. You're going to fight a bully, fight him in your backyard with your fans and your friends around watching. I could say some stuff like that. I won't, but I could.
And he got his players' attention, did he not?
Lots of guts, Greg.
All right. The AFC Championship, that one's over, folks. They're almost. The Buffalo Bills hosting the Kansas City Chiefs, and right now it is a 30-13 Buffalo lead, and the Buffalo Bills, with under a half a minute to play, are on their way back to the Super Bowl. One NFL coaching update for you now. Cowboys offensive coordinator Norv Turner is reportedly to become the next head coach of the Washington Redskins, and he spoke with us a short while ago.
I think a lot of the talk is premature. You know, they contacted the Cowboys during our bye week before the Green Bay game. Actually were able to talk to me for half a day before the commissioner ruled that we couldn't talk, and nothing's gone any further than that. I think they expressed a strong interest in me. I expressed the same interest back, and I think that's where a lot of the rumors come from.
Should the Cowboys lose today, Norv Turner would board a plane for Washington tomorrow, and you could expect an announcement on the Redskins coaching situation as early as Tuesday. Still ahead, Leslie visits with Emmitt Smith, and Terry has a quarterback-to-quarterback chat with Steve Young. Those stories and much more when the NFL Today continues live from Texas Stadium here on CBS.
This NFC Championship Game edition of the NFL Today is sponsored by Lincoln Mercury and the complete line of Lincoln luxury automobiles. Lincoln, what a luxury car should be. And by TGI Fridays Restaurants. Everyone looks forward to Fridays.
When they said I'd be wearing stripes, I figured pinstripes. But my now ex-8...
Welcome back, everyone. The Buffalo Bills are celebrating a fourth straight trip to the Super Bowl. They've beaten the Kansas City Chiefs 30-13. You are getting a live look at the corral, a tented area in the parking lot outside Texas Stadium where Cowboy fans sort of get in the mood for the game. But weighing on their minds is the condition of Cowboys running back Emmitt Smith, and Leslie has more. Leslie.
Greg, most passionate sports fans can remember moments of great courage. Willis Reed against the Lakers, Kirk Gibson against the Oakland A's. Well, we can now add Emmitt Smith, who, when it came for a call to arms, he gave a shoulder. And this from a man who says he hates to get hit.
Aren't you a guy who doesn't look for contact?
I'm a guy that definitely does not look for contact. And if I can avoid any kind of contact, believe me, I will. Right now, I'm going through a little bit of pain that I've never really been through before in my life. I know that it is going to be some pain, it's going to be some discomfort there. And as long as I know that, I mean, it's not going to be a surprise to me.
Now I haven't got time for the pain.
When ligaments are separated from the bone, there is pain, excruciating pain. But Smith ignored it 2 weeks ago against the Giants when his role as a one-armed bandit ensured home field advantage today.
And we were happy we won the East Division, and he just, you know, we were hugging. He grabbed me and said, man, we won it, we won it. And I told him, I said, no, we didn't win it. You won it for us.
The season began without Emmitt Smith, who worked in his sporting goods store in Florida while holding out for a new contract the first 2 weeks. But Mr. Smith and Mr. Jones finally agreed with an understanding between them.
I'm glad you're getting this, Emmett. Are you happy?
Very much.
I am, too.
While Smith was unhappy with Troy Aikman's less bitter and more lucrative contract with the Cowboys, he still danced to his third straight rushing title, then rushed off to the trainer's table.
This looks like you'd pick up MTV with this thing. What would be done with this?
Well, we hook these pads. There's 4 of them, and they go around the injured area on the shoulder. We're using some high-frequency galvanic stimulation to help reduce the swelling into the region, and it hooks into the machine. The machine has a computer chip in it that predetermines the amount of galvanic stim that he's actually getting and the time for the treatment, and it's pretty high-tech stuff.
Got that? High-frequency galvanic stimulation is one thing, but needles? Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, I'm scared of needles.
Well, have you ever had needles?
Yes. I mean, when I go to dentists, they shoot me in the mouth all the time. And, you know, I guess if I could take one in the mouth, I can definitely take one in the shoulder. That's a good way to describe it. What a man. What a player.
Never a dull moment around the Cowboys camp. What do you think of this?
I let Coach Johnson do all the predicting, and you know, let him tell it we're going to win the game.
Emmitt predicted he will carry a full load today, up to 25 carries. I'll get back to you. He predicted he will carry it up to 25 times. There are 2 confirmed though. One is pass blocking, where he can't protect himself. The other is the instinct to stiff arm a defender, where should he have his arm out and get hit, he could break his collarbone. He said with all the questioning and the 24-hour-a-day treatment, he said, I never knew being injured was a full-time job. Greg?
All right, Leslie, thank you. And when the 49ers have the football on offense, the key will be Steve Young. This week, we sent our man with the 4 Super Bowl rings to catch up with the left-hander who desperately wants his first.
Looking back on this season, getting ready for this championship game, what kind of season has Steve Young had?
Well, it started kind of slow. I think our whole team was a little slow at the beginning of the season, but we turned it up. And, you know, I was really happy with the way we ended the whole thing, and we're pretty much as consistent as we were last year when we were the #1 offense in the league. We returned that same play.
How about this Dallas game? How do you see your team matching up? Strengths, weakness, how does this match up?
And last year in the championship game, what I think really cost us is in the second half we traded field goals for touchdowns, and we ended up two scores down and trying to make a comeback. If we could have turned into 7 and went on and scored in the red zone, we didn't do that last year. We got to do that this year.
You have not yet experienced what it's like to win this game. How have you approached that, and how do you handle the fact that you haven't?
I just feel like, I don't know who it was, Yogi Berra or whatever, he said he's going to smash the door down, you know? I mean, I feel
well,
like
that was
you can't
Bum
knock.
Phillips.
Was it
He
Bum?
said that because we kept beating them.
Yeah, I just, look, I can't knock on it anymore because, you know, 1 year around here is too many, you know? And so we're back again, and it's got to happen this year.
I mean, how do you control that? You got to have a presence about you that says,
yeah.
here's how I handled it at the past,
Right.
and we lost. Here's how I handle it next time, and we lost. And now it's even greater, or at least it seems to be. The pressure is so great on your shoulders.
I mean, every game you go into with an edge, you know what I mean, with that kind of, I call it like a desperation feeling that you need to win this game or death is waiting at the door. And I think that when we as a team feel that way, we seem to play really well. And there's no doubt that at the end of the game, we have to win or we go home. And I feel with that desperation feeling, we're going to play very well.
You probably can't say it publicly or openly or don't want to, but the burden on your shoulders here is as great as it can be on any player in any sport, really, because of Joe Montana.
The way I've always tried to look at it and try to get others to look at it, even the media, that it doesn't have to be either or. It can be both. You know, it's like it can be a real positive thing, especially as Joe is successful in Kansas City and doing great things there. It's a great story, and it'll continue to be.
You'll probably get the Best Interview Award Monday morning. Tell me.
High on my list, Greg.
Tell me, who watches Steve Young for the Cowboys?
I'd say every team spies Steve Young. Look for Ken Norton, the middle linebacker of the Dallas Cowboys, because he's right in front of him, and that's how you spy him. Look for Ken Norton to go everywhere Steve Young goes today.
All right, Terry, when we come back, we'll go to the mat. Matt Millen will join us when we break down the X's and O's on the Niners and Cowboys, and we're blasted off here in Texas Stadium. We'll be back.
That's what I want to do right there, Greg. Interrupted.
Driver, do you have any Bud Light in your vehicle?
Well, everybody's getting ready here at Texas Stadium as the 49ers get ready to meet the Dallas Cowboys. Welcome back, everyone. Joining us now is a man who has played in 5 conference championship games, won 4 Super Bowl rings himself, Matt Millen. Welcome, Matt. 8 Super Bowl rings sitting over here off to my left. Let's talk about how the players hit the field. How important is it to play well early on, Terry?
It's very important. You know, the games that I've played in, the first thing I wanted to do, obviously, I wanted to get the ball, and because the first few plays of the offense are our best plays. We've worked on them all week. This is where we think we can attack the team and be successful. And when you're on the road, those first few plays, if they're successful, take the crowd out and give you confidence and you believe in your game plan. So that's what I look for today.
How about it, Matt?
No question, and especially in San Francisco's case. They're on the road. You can hear the crowd behind you. I think in San Francisco, they've got to score early, control the flow, get up ahead, and dictate the pace of the game. If they don't, and it's close going into the last quarter, this is Dallas' game.
All right, we got Terry's take on Jimmy Johnson's guarantee earlier. What did you think about it?
Well, I think it's great, except that I've never seen a coach make a tackle, throw a pass, score a touchdown. I think it's a good job by Johnson by taking the focus off the team and putting it on him. but really, when the whistle blows, it's not going to make a bit of difference.
Okay. Most important part of a Dallas offense is the center, any offense, and they made a change last week. John Giesick started in the middle.
Yeah, Giesick's at the center now because they think that Stubblefield, the other guy across from him, the nose tackle, they think this is a better matchup with putting Giesick in. Well, one of the problems last week with Troy and Giesick was the fact that they had problems with the quarterback exchange. You saw here, look, you can see Troy is actually looking straight ahead, but notice the tilt of the center Giesick. He's off to the right. He's going to pull now, and one of the things that Troy will have to do today to help Giesick is when he knows the center has to pull out like he is here to block the nose tackle, you have to stay with him and ride with him a little bit longer.
All right, tell us about Dana Stubblefield, Matt.
Well, Dana Stubblefield really epitomizes the San Francisco defense. Early on, he was clueless, had big eyes, didn't really know what was going on, and all of a sudden he's turned into a heck of a player, one of the top defensive tackles. And if the Dallas offense is going to do well, it's going to start with the center Giesick on Stubblefield.
All right, now, everybody on the Cowboys this week said when that 49er offense is clicking, it's because Ricky Watters is involved in the offense.
And what Ricky Watters has brought and what the 49ers have finally understood is use the emotion that he brings to the football game. He's a guy who can get you excited. Now, early on, they started to fight with him and squabble, but what they've learned is, hey, here comes Ricky Watters, an excitable guy. Let's feed off him, and it's worked.
All right, Steve Young, is he likely to come out tight in this game, Terry?
Steve Young is a focused young man. This team is focused. They're loose. I think the 49ers are ready to play one of the best games. I think Young will have an outstanding day.
All right. Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers. We're getting ready for the introduction of the players here at Texas Stadium. That's up next when our NFC Championship coverage continues in a moment. The Cowboy fans are on their feet as they're about to meet their favorites. Listen in.
Cowboys on defense. At left end from Texas, El Paso, number 92, Tony Tolbert. At left tackle from Oklahoma, number 75, Tony Casillas. At right tackle from Emporia State, number 78, Leon Lett. At right end, from James Madison, number 94, Charles Haley. At strong side linebacker from Michigan State, number 58, Dixon Edwards. At middle linebacker from UCLA, number 51, Ken Norton. At weak side linebacker from Miami, number 59, Darren Smith. Left cornerback from Texas A&M, number 26, Kevin Smith. At right cornerback from TCU, number 24, Larry Brown. At strong safety from Arizona State, number 28, Darren Woodson. At free safety from Baylor, number 27, Thomas Everett. And Coach Jimmy Johnson and the rest of the Dallas Cowboys squad.
Cowboy players have been introduced. Matt Millen, what do you think tonight?
Like any big game, it comes down to turnovers. Limit the turnovers, you got a chance.
Yeah, turnovers, Greg, absolutely. And special teams play. I look Dexter Carter, Kevin Williams, these two guys who have coughed up the football in big games.
All right, Terry, match coming up. The 49ers and the Cowboys to the victor, a berth in Super Bowl 28. We'll see you at halftime. Enjoy this NFC Championship game, everyone.
9 million? Nobody finds con men better than where it once.
But 7 News is, with more reporters.
We've had several aftershocks in just the past hour. It's going to be a long time before things really get back to normal.
More live reports.
Police and the public are finally getting closer to the truth.
And the most complete coverage.
Reporting live from Northridge, here in Los Angeles.
Live from Detroit.
Here in Portland.
Wherever, whenever, trust 7 News to be there. You are watching WHDH-TV Boston.
What do we like today?
49ers. Come on. Aikman is the best quarterback in football.
Wrong. Steve Young.
Running backs.
Emmett against the Giants.
Waters. 5 touchdowns last week.
Receivers. It begins and ends with Rice, period. Granted, but as a tandem, Irvin and Harper.
Harper?
Well, how about that catch on last year's championship?
Rice makes that catch in his sleep.
Kickers.
If you're going to talk kickers, you're out of here.
Okay. Offensive line.
Eric Williams.
Harris Spartan.
Nate.
Did you see McIntyre in that sweep last week? Forget that. How'd you like to feed Gogan?
Haircuts.
Jimmy Johnson?
Or Johnny Johnson.
If that's the choice, I'd wear Waters' bandana.
All claims for supremacy in the NFC come to a head today in Dallas. Who's the best receiver? Who's the better quarterback? And most importantly, who's the better team? After steamrolling the rest of the conference, it's down to a rematch of last year's title game. And the matchup we've been expecting since training camp began. The winners advance to next week's Super Bowl, while the rest bid a sudden and final farewell to the season, and in the blink of an eye disappear, just like Gunsmoke. The house with the hole in the roof is full of emotion today for the NFC Championship match between the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. Weather today, temperature of 52 degrees, southwest wind 10 miles an hour, a 20% chance of rain. So all in all, it looks like just a great day to play football. I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden. The Cowboys, as you know, have won this game, this matchup, with them and the 49ers the last 2 times. These are the 2 best teams. How do the 49ers go about reversing that trend?
Well, you know, I think they're going to reverse their game plan. The last time they came in here, excuse me, they lost. And what they did was they were trying to do all the finesse things. I think today they're going to come out and do the opposite of the things that they did the last time they played. They're going to run Ricky Waters. They're going to pound him inside. Last time they used him as a decoy. They're going to throw early to their outside receivers. They didn't do that last time. In the 13 years that we've been doing San Francisco 49er games, Pat, I don't think I've seen them as emotional as they were in this pregame today.
I agree. Last Thursday night, Jimmy Johnson, the Cowboys coach, called a local radio station, guaranteed that his Cowboys would win. He said it'll be close for 3 quarters, then we'll kick their rear. What do you think?
Well, I think a big part of that is Emmitt Smith. If the Cowboys are going to be successful, they need Emmitt Smith. They need a big day from Emmitt Smith. They need a healthy Emmitt Smith. And as Jimmy Johnson says, the game is going to be won in the 3rd and 4th quarter. And I think that's the key. Emmitt Smith feels good now. You know, we saw him in the pregame warm-up, and his shoulder feels fine. He has a separation. He's not taking any medication. He's not wearing any special pads. But I think the key is going to be, after he's taken hits for 3 quarters, how is he going to be in the 4th quarter? Because the Cowboys, to win the game, need him healthy, effective, and efficient.
The captains have met at the center of the field. Number 12, of course, is the honorary captain, Roger Staubach of the Cowboys. We talked about this place being packed with emotion. And when the 2 teams came out to be introduced, look what happened. You talk about getting ready to play.
I don't think in all my years I've ever seen that, Pat.
I never have.
Well, what they did is they introduced the 49ers, and they didn't run out to the middle of the field. They just stayed there in the end zone. And, you know, the interesting thing, the guy that kind of started all that for the 49ers was Jerry Rice.
And that's the guy you at least expect, I think, to start something like that. He has the image of being such a, well, almost like Roger Staubach, so revered.
I think that he's had enough talk about the Cowboys being America's team, enough talk about who's the best wide receiver. The last time they played, Michael Irvin had a big day. Jerry Rice didn't. I think that has been eating on him for a long time.
Well, he admittedly says that he's been thinking about this rematch. The Cowboys have won the toss with their honorary captain. Kosar will kick off. Back deep for Dallas, Kevin Williams. and Brock Marion.
I think that's the fun thing about this, Pat, that everyone has been looking forward to this one. You could see this one all year coming. If the Cowboys and the 49ers have always been the two best teams in the NFC all year.
You couldn't ask for anything more. This is going to be played at the highest possible level. The emotion, the championship, the Super Bowl, they are ready. Gopher's kick will be handled by Brock Marion. He gets out to about the 25, where the Cowboys will start there. Troy Aikman. In front of Troy, the offensive line has Tuine Newton, John Giesick starting at center. Kevin Gogan and Eric Williams. A good, big offensive line. Emmett Smith, Darrell Johnston, Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper, the wide receivers, and Jay Novacek, the tight end. So Aikman brings him out on 1st and 10 from the Dallas 25. Emmett Smith is the lone setback. That's Novacek on the move, and Aikman will put it up. Outside Novacek. Outside the 30. A gain of about 7. Stopped by John Johnson. Here is the 49er defensive line. Wilson, Washington, the rookie Dana Stubblefield, who's had an outstanding year. The linebackers, Romanowski, Walter, and John Johnson. In the secondary, Griffin and Merton Hanks, Tim McDonald, and Eric Davis. 2nd and 3. Again, the only back behind Aikman is Emmett Smith. Emmett tossed for a loss. First hit by Carl Wilson.
That's what the 49er defense was talking about. Not only to get to Emmett Smith, but get to him in the backfield, get penetration. And on that first play there, you see Carl Wilson get it. Carl Wilson is going to be here. Now, again, you have to keep the defense on this side. He breaks that plane. Now, watch what he does. He just comes right there. He comes to the inside, then starts going back to the outside. And there was no inside, nor was there a bounce out.
Romanowski filled it inside. Aikman back to throw. They lost a yard last play. Outside, Emmett Smith. Emmett still on his feet into 49er territory to their 43. 44 make it. Tim McDonald tripped Emmett up.
Now that right shoulder sure looked okay because you could see him picking them up with his right hand there. And again, he said last week that it affected his running style, that right separated shoulder. But you watch him move here and watch his running style, that right hand is not affected. You see how he has to keep it out there and move it to balance, move it to keep guys off, and then at the end, move it to hold on to the ball. He did all those things.
A gain of 28 yards on the pass completion from Aikman to Emmett Smith. Reverse to Harper, who can throw it left-handed for Irvin, incomplete. Merton Hanks back to break it up. That surprised no one.
You know, one thing about Jimmy Johnson, he's always going to have a trick in there, and he's going to have the trick early. Watch, here comes Harper around on the reverse. They pull big Gogan out there. See 66, see Nate Newton. He has pretty good protection. He just throws it as long and as hard as he can, but Michael Irvin doesn't get open. That did not fool Tim McDonald.
Pass a little bit behind, but it was not that bad a throw. 2nd and 10. This time, Darrell Johnston winds up in front of Emmett Smith. Fake to Smith. Aikman is going to run it. Chased by Romanowski. But he gets enough for a first down. Down to the 49er 31.
Troy Aikman's not a big runner, Pat, but if you give him a lane, or you give him an opening, he'll do that just enough to you that you know that he's not a sitting target back there.
You have to honor it. He picked up 12. I wouldn't call that a scramble. I just call it a run.
It was a run, yeah. He just run and then got the first down and then ran out of bounds. Remember the last time against the Giants, he ran twice, and the second time he ran, he pulled a hamstring muscle.
The opening drive of the NFC Championship game. Darrell Robinson on the move, and this is Emmitt Smith. Smith. Find Tooney and Newton. Stopped by Hanks.
I think on this opening drive, the Cowboys have answered some questions. You know, one, how is Emmitt Smith, and are they going to have him in there, and is he going to be effective? The answer is so far yes.
Well, they asked Jimmy Johnson earlier this week how healthy Emmitt was, and he said, I think he's going to be healthy. And they asked him again and again and again, and finally he said, hey, he's well. I pronounce him well.
And that's what Emmitt said when we asked him Thursday, how are you? And he said, well, Jimmy Johnson pronounced me well.
He gets the carry. Smith tripped up, tried to cut back. Still got about 3. Carl Wilson tripped him up.
I think with that right shoulder, the thing that the Cowboys were worried about is that not the first hit or the second hit, but Emmitt Smith is hardly ever tackled by the first or second guy, but where he would be bothered by that third and fourth guy coming in there.
3rd and 1, and now the Cowboys will put Kevin Gogan, who normally plays guard, at left offensive end.
And the fans started to chant Moose, but what Moose is going to do is lead. He's going to be the lead blocker.
Emmitt Smith. First down, Dallas. To the 20. Wilson and McDonald.
And that's exactly what he did. We said that here's the Moose. They're yelling, Moose, Moose, Moose. Well, what Moose is going to do is lead, and Emmitt Smith is going to get right in behind him. You know that, boom, he finds the hole wet, just enough soft spot there to get that first down. I don't think that the people here, you know, they're knowledgeable fans here, and they know that the Moose isn't going to get a heck of a lot of carries, but he's going to do a lot of lead blocking, and he will catch some balls.
Buffalo goes to the Super Bowl for the 4th consecutive year. So one of these two will face the Bills. Aikman swings it out to Emmitt Smith. Close to and picks up at first down. You just don't realize how strong Emmitt is.
Well, if you look at him from the waist down, you can see how strong he is. That's where all his power is. I mean, he has big, very strong legs, and he is a powerful man, and he never gives you anything to hit. Hey, this is darn near a perfect drive, isn't it? The way they started out here. Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator, calling the plays, has great mixture, run and pass, and who he's throwing it to.
1st and goal from just inside the 10. Lassick is the deep back now. The rookie from Alabama. He gets the fake from Aikman, who rolls and will throw it. Maybe. Aikman steps out at about the 5.
Ted Washington of the 49ers is down on the field, Patty. Something happened. He went down right away.
Let's see what happened to him if we can.
Well, what happens is you'll see why Aikman runs here. You see if we can stop it here. You can see that he's looking here. He wants to cross here, and it's not open yet. So he's going to keep trying to come running out here to the right to try and find an opening. It is there, but he didn't see it. He missed it when it was right about there, and now he's at a point where it's too late to throw it, so he thinks that he can get it as close to the goal line and get it about inside the 5-yard line.
That was Scott Galbraith, the backup or the second tight end for the Cowboys. It was open and waving right at the goal line. Ted Washington grabbed his left leg while he was on the ground, and he's still down and in pain. 0-0.
What do you do when Neil McBain had no intention of slowing down? That's why Dean Witter mapped out his financial course with only one goal in mind: victory. Dean Witter.
We measure success one investor at a time.
Golf, the AT&T Pebble Beach way, coming soon to CBS.
9:04 left to play in the first quarter in this NFC Championship game. 0-0 score. Ted Washington standing up under his own power now. They brought a chair out to help him off the field, but Well, let's see what happens.
You know, if you see, here he is right here, and you're going to see number 79, Eric Williams of the Cowboys, just knock him down. And Eric Williams, right there, see him hit him right there? Eric Williams is so strong that when he just hit you, he just kind of presses you right into the carpet. Watch it, it's right here in the middle of the screen. See that hit there? I mean, he just kind of presses everything. I think all the weight goes to that one leg after he got punched by 79.
This guy is so big and so strong, it's almost scary.
Yeah, he wouldn't be fun to play against.
No.
I mean, that he'll hit and he'll knock more guys out than any tackle in this league.
Well, we've seen him do similar things to what just happened to Washington in games earlier this year. Artie Smith has taken Washington's place. Washington's left leg.
And, you know, the 49ers have a shortage inside. They have Dana Stubblefield and Ted Washington. Artie Smith is a guy who was a rookie who is a defensive end. And so they have to bring him in there now. And he's really not a tackle. He's more of an end.
Not big enough, really, to be playing inside.
And I think that the Cowboys running game, you know, would anyway pick away at that middle of that 49er defense. But from now on, I think they're going to pick away at that all day.
Second and goal from the 5-2 tight end offense for the Cowboys. Here's Emmitt Smith. Touchdown, Cowboys. Emmitt Smith from 5 yards out behind Giesick and Gogan.
You know, Pat, there's the guy that you talk about a drive, and Norv Turner knew that he was going to start this game with Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith handled the ball 7 times on that drive. 6 runs and 1 pass.
They got the opening kickoff. The extra point by Eddie Murray is good. And Dallas leads San Francisco 7-0 first quarter.
Of the NFC Championship Game is sponsored by Chevrolet, who invites you to see all the new Chevy cars for 1994. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. AT&T, we help put your world within reach. And by American Airlines, something special in the air.
At Texas Stadium, the NFC Championship. Dallas 7, San Francisco nothing. Murray to kick off. High and short. Handled by Dexter Carter. And Carter down at about the 23, but a flag on the play.
Yeah, if you watch the touchdown again, here's Gogan. He weighs about 330. Here's Eric Williams. He wears 330. You just get in behind those guys.
A little scuffle again. Now back to the touchdown.
Well, it starts here with a double team here. They just knocked this. Gogan gets this guy. Giesick gets his guy. And I don't think anyone touches Emmitt Smith.
Not until he's in the end zone.
Watch it. If you got big, powerful guys, watch them. Whap, you just move them off. You turn them. You drive them. And Emmitt Smith can walk that one in there.
The 49ers were called for holding on the kickoff return, so they moved back to inside their own 10, about the 9. It'll be 1st and 10 from there.
And they're a little frustrating. It's tough when the first time you get the football, there's 8 minutes, 33 seconds left in the quarter.
And you're starting at your own 9-yard line.
And you just had a penalty and a fight.
Steve Young throws outside to Ricky Waters. Waters hammered out of bounds. Young, the quarterback, had a great year. In front of him, a smallish but very effective offensive line. Wallace, McIntyre, Sapolo, Tam, and Barton. Ricky Waters and Tom Rathman, the 2 backs. Rice and Taylor, the 2 ever dangerous wide receivers. And Brent Jones, another lethal target at tight end. 2nd and 2. Rice is the motion man. Waters. Cut down, lost the ball. They say he was down. Larry Brown up to hit him first.
That was a heck of a hit by Larry Brown. You know, when you run a sweep, those outside guys, those corners have to be what they call the force guy. When you get outside, you got the force right there. There's Larry Brown, 24. That is a heck of a force. Of course, the ball came out after Ricky Waters was down, and the officials, you know, they were pointing to the ground. The ball was dead.
He lost 2. 3rd and 4. Young to throw. Young to run. Doesn't get it. Jimmy Jones.
Again, great coverage out here by Larry Brown. Watch here. This is where Steve Young is trying to throw. He's looking to his left, trying to throw out here to John Taylor. Brown is up on him. You see him? That made Steve Young pump it out there. Brown had the good coverage, and that's what you call a coverage sack.
Can't cover any better than that. Klaus Wilmsmeyer is the 49er punter. They're just not used to punting very much.
You know, we were talking to Jimmy Johnson the other day, and he said he looked at all the 49ers punts all year, and all year, they're 16 games, they've only had 15 punts returned against them.
And there's a penalty on that last play. And the Cowboys, I think, were trying to decide, Jimmy Johnson was, whether to accept or whether to force that punt.
I think he wants to find out what the penalty is and how many yards.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 80, offense. Penalty is declined, 4th down.
Personal foul is called against Jerry Rice.
That's the second surprise of Jerry Rice. We talked in the pregame, he almost started a fight. And you see him up on top. You see him right there, number 80, on the sideline there. And it had to be something that happened after that.
Never did see what he did. Wilmsmeyer. His kick is a line drive, will be handled by Kelly Williams. Their catch, the Cowboys take over at their own 39. They lead the 49ers 7-0 first quarter.
MCI called, and they want friends and family phone numbers, and if they are on Sunday.
7-0 at Texas Stadium. And the 49ers have made some defensive changes. Remember, Ted Washington came out with an injured left knee.
Yeah, we can see what they're doing now, Pat. They're taking Carl Wilson right here. He started at the right end. He's going to play left end. Then they're going to put Artie Smith, number 95, over at the right end. Take Dennis Brown right here, play him at right tackle. He was a left end. So everyone on the defensive line, because of that injury to Ted Washington, other than Dano Stubblefield, have changed positions.
Stubblefield stays in the middle, right across from Giesick. The pitch is back to Emmett Smith. And Smith gets about 6. And you're so right about his injured shoulder. So far, it doesn't look like he's hampered at all.
And if they keep moving the ball like this and scoring points, maybe the fourth quarter won't be as important as you thought it was earlier. But the 49er defense is just being dominated by this Cowboy offense, especially those offensive line. I mean, they just look like they're too quick and too big and too strong for them. They're just knocking them off the line.
They just look like they lean on them and they go backwards. Smith again. Not much this time. Hit by Mike Walter, who had a big game last week at Candlestick against the Giants.
Well, you know, the thing the 49ers know is when you play against Emmitt Smith, you not only have to take the onside, the side that he's running to, but you have to take away the backside, because if you leave him a backside, he'll cut back. And that's what Mike Walter has to do. He has to stay behind Emmitt Smith when he goes to the onside for that cutback to the backside.
3rd and 2. Cowboys at their own 47. Aikman has the first down to Emmitt Smith. Not only is he so effective as the ball carrier, he's an excellent pass receiver.
But, you know, he has to find a hole, and you'll see he starts here. He's going to end up catching a ball over here, but he has to find his way through the line to get out here. And then in doing that, they kind of lose him in there. You see him hide in there, then get behind the defensive line coming across. That is a very tough pattern to cover.
The linebacker is assigned the coverage, but he's got to keep up with a very fast, very quick running back, Emmitt Smith. And here he is again. To the 49er 39. Merton Hanks made the stop.
See, the 49ers are now involving their safeties. We see Merton Hanks on that time. The guy that had the cutback was the safety. He's the free safety, and he's the guy that came up and took the cutback. Now, we know that they also take Tim McDonald, their strong safety, and he's a big run player. So what happens is you start getting those safeties up, and then pretty soon you're going to be open deep to some wide receivers.
2nd and 7. Fake is to Smith this time, and Aikman is going deep for Harper. Through his hands. Would have been a difficult catch, but it could have been caught.
I think the Cowboys saw the same thing. When you see Merton Hanks or Tim McDonald out there, you know that out here on this side that you're going to get man-to-man coverage. And that safety's so concerned with the run that he's not going to be out here with Harper. So you're going to take a shot. You can't get a better shot than that. Harper just he needed about 2 more inches on his fingers there.
Eric Davis, the 49er defensive back, 3rd and 7.
Remember Harper on Eric Davis in last year's championship game.
The 49ers remember that.
Eric Davis remember.
Pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Dana Stubblefield is number 94, clapping like he might have gotten his hand on it.
Yeah, we're talking to Dana Stubblefield. He only weighs 280 pounds, which, you know, sounds like a heck of a lot. You know, guys weigh only 280, but he's playing against guards that weigh 320. And he says he has to use leverage. He has to get up underneath. That time it was John Giesick. Get up underneath, and then when you see the pass, just get your hand up and close the passing lane.
If you know you're not going to get there, that's the next best thing. John Jett to punt in the direction of Dexter Carter. This one is hanging high and into the end zone. So they'll start at the 20. The 49ers will, the first time they began on offense at the 9. Game, this is the Dallas defensive front 4. Haley, let Casillas, and Tolbert start. But they'll keep some fresh people in there from time to time. Darren Smith, Norton, and Edwards, the linebackers. And the secondary. Kevin Smith and Larry Brown, the corners. Woodson and Everett, the 2 safety men. 1st and 10, San Francisco at their own 20. Young back to throw it. Flag on the play already. Steve Young for John Taylor. Shakes 1 tackle. No play, I believe.
But they sure caught Charles Haley on that. You know, they're going to pay attention to him. He's their biggest pass rusher, the Cowboys.
Full start. Number 74, offense. Prior to the snap.
And 74 is right here, Steve Wallace.
First down.
He's the guy who has to block Haley, but watch Haley take it inside and beat him to the inside, and then Ricky Waters is going to meet Haley right there. They're not going to let him get there. But see that little flinch by Wallace? That's what they call. See that thing right there? There's old Ricky Waters knocking him down. But they called the flinch on Wallace, number 74, before the ball was snapped. Now, Steve Wallace has always had problems when he's playing on the road because he has a tough time hearing the snap count. He's deaf in one ear.
And it is loud here at Texas Stadium today. But that's what a pass rusher like Haley will do to you. He makes you jump like that.
And Haley knows that. Of course, you know, he played with the 49ers for 6 years, and he knows that. And he knows what Wallace can do.
On top of that, it looks like Steve Wallace has got his ear holes in his helmet taped from the inside.
Yeah, and I think that's the ear. I think he's deaf in the left ear, so he just has that thing taped anyway.
Steve Young, outside. The report from the 49ers is Ricky Waters makes the reception on Ted Washington. who was injured earlier. His knee and his ankle are both injured. And he is, as was said to us, in excruciating pain.
Yeah, and that's just one of those things that it's a turf injury, artificial turf, where he was just kind of pressed to the ground by the strength of Eric Williams.
Second down, about 9. Steve Young back to throw. Rice. 49ers get their first down at the Dallas 37, at their own 37, beg your pardon.
Yeah, we were talking about Steve Wallace here and being deaf in that left ear. Charles Haley, the best pass rusher, and what they're going to do is they're always going to help him. They're not going to let Haley beat him. Watch, you see, he takes the outside, and watch here. Ricky Watters comes and chips him off, see? Then knocks him right back into Wallace again. They are not going to let Charles Haley go unmolested without 1 or 2 guys to get to Steve Young.
First and 10, 49ers. Ricky Watters outside the 40, about the 42. Stopped by Casillas.
Ricky Watters was saying he was talking to his dad this week, and he and his dad figured out the game plan for this week. And what the game plan is to run right at him. As he said, you know, take the wood to him in the first half, then in the second half, bring out his moves. His straight arms, his spinners, do the finesse stuff in the second half. But take it to him in the first half, soften him up, use your moves in the second half.
Bring that full load of wood. Here's Young. In the pocket. Gets it to John Taylor, and Taylor swings into Dallas territory to the 40. Run out of bounds by Dixon Edwards, but good yardage by the completion from Young to Taylor.
Now watch, you know, we talked about Charles Haley and what he can do and what Steve Young has to do to throw the ball. See, he gets a little double there. He grabs John Taylor, goes inside of Steve Wallace, and watch him hit Steve Young just as he throws the ball. That's what he was saying the other day. He said, I don't care if he throws it or not. We have to knock Steve Young down and make him know we're here all day.
We have to rattle him. First and 10. 19-yard pickup on that completion. Here's Young to throw it again. They fake a screen pass, and Steve Young has got all kind of room to run. Down inside the Dallas 25, he goes out of bounds. First down, San Francisco. Rathman with a good block.
You know, that was Charles Haley again, Pat. They were trying to throw a screen pass to Mark Logan. Charles Haley stopped his rush and came off on Logan. And then Steve Young was looking out to his left to Logan. Watch Haley right here. He's going to start. Logan's going to come out here and try and get a screen pass. Haley's going to drop off with him. See him rush? Now watch. He sees the screen here. See, and he goes back, and he gets between Young and Logan, so Young had to run to the other side.
And turned it into a 49er first down. Here's Ricky Watters inside the Dallas 20 to about the 18. Haley around his ankles.
You know, and Haley has a bad back that everyone knows about. In fact, he's going to have surgery on that back after the season, but he can just get ready. He said, I can get ready for the 49ers. I don't care about my back. I'm not going to be worried about the back.
Well, everybody knew about the bad back. He told us something the other day I didn't know about. He's got a bad knee to go along with it.
And he has one leg shorter than the other. That's why he walks sideways.
But he can play.
He's 6'3" on one side and 6'4" on the other.
To Rice. At about the 10.
Yeah, this is a heck of a drive by the 49ers, though, running and passing. Again, they know that they want to get the ball to Jerry Rice and to John Taylor, and that's what they're doing on this drive. Like Ike Shanahan said, that's what we have to do. We have to get the ball out there. The heck with fooling with, you know, tight ends and backs and that stuff. Rice and Taylor are going to have to be the guys that beat them in the passing game today.
5 passes, 5 rushes. That's the kind of balance the 49ers are looking for. It's first and goal. Watters and Rathman. Ricky Watters, who got 5 touchdowns last week, nudges ahead for about 3.
Well, see, that's what he said. He's just going to take a boom. He's just going to go straight ahead. No finesse. That time he ran right into his own guy. Guy McIntyre's left guard.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score. Dallas 7, San Francisco 0.
The Miami Dolphins are missing their mascot, and only one man can track him down.
Oh! Line presents Full Contact Golf.
Yeah!
We're still on the first hole, Bob, and this is Davis teeing it up. Here's the drive. It is blocked! Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste and less filling, you can combine anything. Oh, he's got daylight going for the green. Here's the putt. There's the blitz. It's good! Yeah! Oh, good beer. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
The battle will be epic. Browning, Petrenko, Boitano, and Elvis. The Olympic Winter Games return to CBS.
The NFC Championship Game. Dallas leading San Francisco 7-0 as we begin the second quarter. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Charles Haley, who is in almost every play involved in some way on this 49er drive, just stopped by for a visit in the San Francisco huddle.
I would love to have heard what he said when he was in their huddle.
Maybe it wasn't a social visit. Here's Steve Young. Good. Tom Rathman, and Rathman lunges into the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco.
That was a heck of a drive. I mean,
I'll tell you what.
The Cowboys started the game, and they had a great offensive drive. The 49ers came back and answered it with this. Watch Tom Rathman. You think he's going to be a lead blocker. Now, that was Steve Young's second receiver. You see him? He looked out there to the left, kind of pumped it out there, and then came back to Rathman right up the middle.
Kofer for the extra point with Steve Bono holding. Young was 6 out of 6. Kofer's extra point ties it. And in the NFC Championship Game, it's 7 apiece.
You fill me with... Sponsored by McDonald's.
7-7 the score. The Dallas scoring drive 75 yards. The 49ers scoring drive 80 yards. 4 rushes, 5 passes. Touchdown to Tom Rathman.
Hey, one thing we have a lot of things in this game, but one thing we have is true fullbacks. With Tom Rathman on one side, Daryl Johnston and Moose on the other side.
Hofer's kickoff will be handled deep in the end zone, and Kevin Williams will stay there.
Yeah, if we look at the touchdown again, we'll see that Steve Young is going to look to his left. And if we can stop it right here, he's looking right here at Brent Jones, who's covered by Dixon Edwards. Now he has to come off of that, and then he looks right down the middle, and he finds number 44, Tom Rathman. See him come off? He was looking there first. Comes back to Rathman, who looked like he was going on a lead block, and he was wide open in the middle.
Norton finally picked him up, but too late. The 49ers even things at 7. Dallas first down at their own 20. Aikman going right to work. Passes to Harper, complete. First down Dallas. For a report on the physical condition of Ted Washington, let's go down to Jim Gray.
Okay, Pat, thank you very much. The report is not good. Dr. Michael Dillingham of the 49ers tells us that Washington has suffered a fractured left tibia plateau, which is just below the knee. He is immobilized. He's in a splint. He's in excruciating pain. He obviously will not return, so the news is not good. Back upstairs to you, Pat.
Not good indeed. Thank you, Jim. First and 10. Dallas at their own 36. Aikman again will throw it. Incomplete. Irvin coming across the middle, but the 49ers had that one diagnosed well.
Yeah, you want to see, we were talking about Eric Williams. Watch his first move. This right hand comes, boom, right up to the face every time. That's not a bad move. I mean, you got to get your big arms out there, and you see the hand, the right, and then the left. And he gets him right to the face of that guy, and then he moves his head. Then he gets the pass rusher's head turned, and he's probably right now, I think, the toughest tackle to rush against in this league.
Certainly the strongest. Emmitt Smith, second and 10. Emmitt out of bounds at about the 40 by Larry Roberts.
You know, he's so big and so strong that when he just gets his hands on you, I mean, just watch Eric Williams again on this play. He's going to block number 91, Larry Roberts. But when he hits him, I mean, they just kind of go sideways and flop around in circles and stuff, and he doesn't really tee off on things. He just kind of hits you and pushes you. And when he does, you just kind of go backwards and sideways.
It looks like he's not almost effortless, but people come flying away from him.
I think right now he's the best offensive tackle in football.
Third down, Aikman back. Pass caught by Michael Irvin in 49er territory. First down, Cowboys.
And remember last time they played, Michael Irvin had a big day, caught 12 passes. This is the first one he caught today. Here he is out here. You know it's just a matter of time. If you play off him like this and you let him have that much cushion, he's just going to take that little out or come back, and Aikman can throw that thing perfectly. I mean, Aikman has a strong arm, a quick release, all those things that a great quarterback has to have.
First and 10 for Aikman and the Cowboy offensive unit. Fake to Emmett Smith. Aikman. Novacek. Another first down. Eric Davis, the defender.
Now, both these teams could do this to each other. I mean, they're so fun to watch play offense. I mean, you could go from a Harper on one side to Irvin on the other side to Novacek to Darrell Johnson. Then you can take Emmett Smith. You can run him. You can throw to him. If you like offensive football, this is one great game.
And this man's team, George Seifert 49ers, have just as many weapons. Aikman is 7 out of 10. Smith. Inside the 35, stopped by Romanowski after a pickup of about 4.
I think the game is starting to calm down emotionally. You know, you play these big games, and the thing you worry about is that you're too fired up. You know, that you're going to do stupid things. And I think maybe in the first quarter, the 49ers were too fired up. I mean, they had some penalties. They had some, you know, things, some miscues. Then offensively, they started going. Defensively, I don't know that their defense is going to be able to stop the Cowboys all day.
Novacek on the move. Aikman to Emmett Smith. Inside the 49er 20, down to about the 16. First down, Cowboys. Eric Davis knocked him out of bounds.
See all those things a great running back has to do, Pat. I mean, you know, he has to now. He wants a break here, but he has to be able to get open, catch the ball, move, you know, move his legs, move his head, move his body. Then even throughout that, switch the ball from the left hand to the right hand so that the ball is towards the sidelines.
And then he has to take a little breather. And he's replaced by Derek Lassick.
That was one of the things that Jimmy Johnson said he wants to do, is play Emmett for a whole game, but give him breathers.
Aikman. Incomplete. Intended for Irvin. It was in the basket. Just didn't stay there.
Well, you know, Irvin is so big and so strong that he usually wins these battles. This time, number 25, Eric Davis wins the battle. I mean, Eric Davis gets in there, has that left hand a little behind, maybe gives him a little push, gets that right hand up in front of his face and eyes, and you know, it's tough out there. I mean, it's tough out there being man-to-man on an island, and you have to do some things. Maybe he did push a little, maybe he did grab a little face mask, but if you can't do those things, you can't cover Michael Irvin.
It's impossible. Second and 10. Draw play, Emmett Smith. Emmett sort of weaves his way down to about the 12. Pickup of 4, perhaps. Stopped by Mike Walter and Dennis Brown.
Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys only have about 4 running plays, and the one that they run most of the time is that draw or lead draw. There's Norv Turner here. He's the offensive coordinator and probably going to be in the next couple of weeks the head coach of the Washington Redskins, but he was upset because he doesn't like to have third and this long. He hoped to, you know, pick up about 4 or 5 yards and get a third and short or a first down.
Third and 6. Flag on the play as Aikman fires complete to Irvin. Beg your pardon, this is Harper.
How did he get that ball in there to Harper? It looked like there were 6 or 7 red shirts there. I mean, that was an amazing thing how he zips that. I mean, we know he's quick. He's a great reader. He sees things, but look at those defenders there. I mean, he threw it in front of one and back of one and the side of the other.
Offside, number 94, defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
Penalty decline. Look at it again.
Well, Harper's running a slant. Now, you see his move to Eric Davis. He took that left hand and just put it right to Davis's face, and he has to hit him right there before it gets to the safety. He has to get him just beyond Davis before he gets to the safety, and then a whole bunch of other guys right in there.
That ball on the way a long time before Harper ever took a look. First and goal with the 4. Johnson, touchdown. The Cowboys recapture the lead. It is as you said, John. Neither team can stop the other.
Now, and that's what Emmitt Smith does, too. You know that when they get down here, they're going to give the ball to Emmitt Smith. You know, here's Emmitt Smith. They're not going to give it to Daryl Johnson. He's the front guy. He's the blocker. See, everyone goes out with Emmitt Smith. They're all over pursuit. Boom, they just hand it to Daryl Johnson, and wow, he's right in the end zone.
Murray's extra point is good. 11 plays, 80 yards. And the Cowboys have the lead in the second quarter, 14-7.
I will not have the first losing season in 40 years at this university. The only thing that can save.
Saturday at 5 Eastern Time, the most anticipated event of the NFL season. The Little Caesars 10th anniversary all-Madden team. All guts and glory. We look forward to it. Here they go on the kickoff. Dexter Carter started at about the 2. Gets to about the 23.
Yeah, Pat, let's watch Nate Newton. You know, we talk about guys that are on all Madden teams. This guy is every year just for the type of things that he can do like this. Down around the goal line, boom, you just take your guy, drive him. Daryl Johnson just sees big old Nate and gets right in behind his backside.
There are a lot of reasons for Nate to be on the all-Madden team.
I think it's kind of what it's all about. I mean, Nate Newton, a guy who's a free agent, came into this league, was cut by the Washington Redskins, backup player, built himself up to a starter, now a Pro Bowl player. That's what it's all about.
And he can cook.
And he can eat.
Ricky Waters. That's about a gain of 3, stopped by Casillas. George Seifert said the Cowboys have the most intimidating special teams in football.
This is Kenneth Gant coming down the field full speed. This is what it's like in the playoffs. I don't know. That's intensity. That's hitting. That's bodies flying. That's everything. That doesn't look like a guy who's wearing glasses the day before.
Looks so innocent.
Yeah, how can you look like that and play like that?
Here's Steve Young. Gets it out to Waters. Waters knocked backwards by Dixon Edwards and swarmed around by the rest of the defense led by Ken Norton. Ricky better go back and get another load of wood.
I know, because he was trying to deliver his wood, and Dixon Edwards delivered his wood. I mean, that's the way you want to hit him. I mean, you want to catch him going this way and then knock him back the way they were going before they got to you. And that's what Dixon Edwards did.
Whoa.
And then at the end, after he hit him and knocked him backwards, he goes in and tries to take his head off. Watch him come back there. He's going for his hat right there. Whap!
A loss of 7. It's 3rd and 13. It is intense. Steve Young, pass incomplete, is picked off by Thomas Everett. Dallas gets the turnover. The interception and the ball at the 25. Taylor, the intended receiver.
The last 2 meetings, this is the thing that has killed the 49ers, are the turnovers. But you see, Thomas Everett's number 27. He's right in the middle of the screen. He's just playing free safety. The ball's thrown to John Taylor. Just tips out of his hand. Everett's sitting back there. That's what a free safety does. You keep everything in front of you. Any tip is your ball. You go for it.
That's that turnover story you were talking about the last two games. The 49ers have turned it over 6 times to Dallas in 1. Here's Emmitt Smith again to about the 20. Merton Hanks came up to make the hit.
If you look, the 49ers can always move the ball against the Cowboys. The last 2 games, they've moved it for over 400 yards a game. But the key thing is you got to get the ball back. And when you do, you can't have the turnovers.
The turnovers, inevitably, they kill you. That's been the story in this game. That's the story in almost every game. 2nd and 6. The handoff is to Smith. To about the 15. Into the 3rd down situation, stopped by Larry Roberts.
The way the 49er defense, the way they play when Smith runs is to stay patient. Don't pursue, don't over pursue, and that's what they do. Is just everyone kind of stay around the line of scrimmage. And if you just watch, Johnston's out here. There's only one back in the backfield. See how they all just kind of stay patient, just wait on the line, although they're getting knocked off the line, and then make him commit, and then go after him.
3rd and about a yard. The handoff is to Darrell Johnson, who gets the Dallas 1st down.
Darrell Johnson, something, he's in the Pro Bowl this year as a fullback. Jokes about it. He didn't even gain 100 yards the whole season as a rusher, but he does all those other things, Pat, that we talk about. He's the guy who catches. He's the guy who blocks. He's the guy that makes Troy Aikman feel very comfortable sitting in the pocket.
And Emmitt Smith. So does this guy, Kevin Gogan.
Big old Gogan, you know, the reason he's out, he's a tight end on short yardage. So after they get the 1st down, he has to go out for 1 play before he can come back in as a guard.
He'll be back. Here's Aikman, back to throw it. To Emmitt Smith, he'll walk in. Dallas 20. San Francisco 7.
Well, if you were wondering how Emmitt Smith is, or if they're going to use him today, or if he'll be a factor, I don't think you have to wonder anymore.
Nope. They get the turnover, and they get the points as a result of it. Murray for the extra point.
That's why Jimmy Johnson can guarantee victory.
Yeah.
A play like that.
Murray's extra point is good. It's 21-7. 6:04 left to play in the 1st half. 21-7 Dallas.
This is the office where our Ford truck engineers...
6:04 left to play in the 2nd quarter. And these are the kind of numbers, once you get inside that 20-yard line, they've had it 3 times. They've gotten touchdowns each time.
And the other thing you like is a good special teams play like they had in Gantz getting ready for, then a turnover. Then after you get the turnover, it's what you do with it. You get 7 points out of it.
High and short, Murray's kickoff handled by Dexter Carter. Cowboys down in a hurry. Carter does well to get it out to about the 23.
Let's watch and see how Emmitt Smith was so open. Here's Emmitt Smith. Here's Jay Novacek. Novacek comes up here. Smith gets right in behind him. Novacek comes out here. All the defense comes out here. And then Smith comes right into the middle, open free. But if we could just bring it down here and kind of stop it now, we'll see that everyone is here on Novacek and no one is here on Smith. That is an easy one.
1st down, San Francisco at their own 23. Young back to throw it. Under pressure. To about the 26. Stopped by Casillas.
See, this is where a game changes. Once you get a turnover, you get a couple touchdowns ahead. Now the defense, and this Cowboy defense is not a dominant defense, but now they're playing downhill. The 49ers have to play uphill. the running game, the time of possession, the ball control, those things that don't make as much sense now. The Cowboys are just going to tee off on it.
2nd and 7. Rice split out wide to the right. Taylor left. Batted away. Incomplete. Leon Lett got the big hand up and knocked it down.
Yeah, that's why they call Leon Lett Big Cat. If you watch Big Cat, he's going to be hanging on Steve Young as he throws that ball. He makes the slap, a head slap. He has a double team. He takes Jesse Sapolo, pushes him into the backfield, and just as Young throws that ball, watch that left hand come up on Young's neck, and he just slaps him to the ground.
And Haley got his hand up and batted the ball away. Lett was close.
That's what made the ball go sideways was Haley. Haley will disrupt more plays than any guy in this game.
3rd and 7. Here's Young back to throw it. Incomplete, intended for Rice. Kevin Smith, the defender, but there are a lot of white jerseys around.
Hey, right now, the Cowboys have the 49ers just where they want them. They got them on their heels. They got them going backwards. And the emotion of this game has been taken over by the Cowboys.
Wilmsmeyer back to punt to Kevin Williams. Good kick. Williams retreats to about the 22. Cowboys will take over with 4:58 left to play in the first half. They lead by 2 touchdowns.
Did you reserve the car with her?
Not exactly, but it's
58 left to play in the first half at Texas Stadium. Michael Irvin working on Emmitt Smith.
That's what teammates are for, Pat. You just do that in the huddle. They have those timeouts. You got to get the guy warmed up, ready to go.
Stretched out.
Wonder how Michael Irvin knows how to do that. Let's see if it works. See if they hand it to him and see how he runs with that stretch job.
Aikman fakes to him. Over the middle to Emmitt Smith. Stopped by John Johnson, but a pickup of 5 or 6.
You know, George Seifert had a word for the time that Troy Aikman gets. He says he has great separation. In other words, the distance from the line, the defensive line, to the point where he's throwing from, as he said, is probably the biggest separation that any quarterback in the league enjoys. Part of that's Emmitt Smith running, and a big part of it's the offensive line. And the third part is Troy Aikman.
Right. Here's Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt nudges ahead to first down yardage. Stopped by Mike Walter and Bill Romanowski. But he got enough to move the sticks. Excuse me.
No, I was just going to say, I think that's a good sign when you see Emmitt Smith, who we know has a separated right shoulder, when he's picked up, when someone helps him up and he gives him that right hand and lets him pick him up with that right hand, you have to believe that that right shoulder's okay. Well, I think when they keep the right hand, they give you the left hand, then the right shoulder's bad.
We were told he's not wearing any kind of unusual shoulder pads today. So when Jimmy pronounced him well, Jimmy Johnson, he got well. Blitz coming at Aikman, but what a catch by Harper. Harper right off his shoe tops.
And what a throw by Aikman. We're going to see this one. As you say, this is a great catch. I mean, Harper comes out, he works out, he just takes that ball right off the ground. But Troy Aikman was hit by John Johnson just as he threw that ball, and that's probably what made that thing dip. You talk about a great catch. He caught that with his fingertips. Watch 55 Johnson hit him. See, that's why he couldn't get everything on the ball. He went to step, and there was Johnson.
Harper, and the catch give him a first down. This is out to Darrell Johnston. Down to the 49er 40. Stopped by Walter. The 49ers have got to get something going defensively here, or this thing's going to be out of their hand.
Now, what they're not doing is they're not doing anything to disrupt the rhythm of the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys and Norv Turner calling the plays, Troy Aikman running, the offensive line blocking. They've gotten into a rhythm, and the 49ers have let them stay in that rhythm. And I think you got to come up with a blitz or something different to knock them out.
Second and short, and it's First down, Cowboys almost at 30. Down to about the 31-yard line, stopped by Dana Hall.
The other thing, if you can't knock them out of their rhythm defensively, then you have to hope they get a penalty or something. But just watch here. You know, we're talking about Williams. Just watch his left hand. I mean, he plays like a boxer. I mean, he just comes up and he just hits those guys with those fists, and they go sideways all the time.
2-minute warning.
Hey, the Miss Perfect pageant.
Yeah.
We're watching hockey.
One-on-one at the Jeep Eagle Tournament of Champions Finals next Sunday on CBS Sports.
2 minutes left in the first half. 21-7 Dallas, and the Cowboys are on the move. Pat Summerall with John Madden at Texas Stadium, the NFC Championship. Both teams have all their timeouts remaining. Aikman is going to run. Good slide. Down to about the 22, close to a first. Looks like he might be a half-yard short.
Yeah, you don't know what to do. You know, again, here's Eric Williams, so you want to rush him up the field. Now, in doing that, you're going to give a big lane here to run. If we can just look, this is what Troy Aikman sees. You see Eric Williams taking, we can just stop it now. You see, once he has his guy here, the next guy's there. Look at that big running lane that he has. He has to take that, even though he's not a runner.
They need a half-yard, and Johnson will get that. Stopped by Stubblefield.
You know, after a good play, you know, we saw Eric Williams make a lot of these big plays. Then during timeouts, they just water themselves down. But you don't keep it all. Watch, this is how you do it. You just squirt it all over you, and then but you don't keep it. Once you get it in there, you just let it come out. Yeah.
That's a real 2-minute warning there.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, that's a good one because you know sometimes you think you water yourself down, you keep it all in there.
Yeah.
But you don't, because that'll log you down. So you just kind of take it in, and then you just water the rest of the guys down.
Whether they want it or not.
Yeah, because when you're a guy like Eric Williams and you weigh about 335 pounds, you don't want to get loggy.
The winner of this game to face the AFC Championship Buffalo Bills. 4th consecutive year for Buffalo.
Congratulations to the Bills, and right now there's just 3 teams. Started out with 28 all going for this. Buffalo Bills know they're in it next week. Of course, the winner of this game will leave tomorrow. If the 49ers win, they're going to leave right from here to go to Atlanta. If the Cowboys win, they'll leave tomorrow to go to Atlanta.
That was a Cowboy timeout, so they have 2 left now. Emmitt Smith behind Aikman. Aikman has Novacek. Novacek has a Dallas touchdown. From 19 yards out, Jay Novacek barreled into the end zone.
Again, that's Jay Novacek, that's Troy Aikman, but I'll tell you, this offensive line of the Cowboys is manhandling that 49er defensive line. Look at the time Troy Aikman has to do that. See big Nate Newton, He just took his guy and didn't even let him get off the line of scrimmage.
Eddie Murray's extra point makes it 28-7. 58 seconds left to play in the first half. Dallas on top.
Everybody thinks programming a VCR is so incredibly complicated.
Left to play in the first half, the touchdown again.
And just enjoy this pass protection. I mean, some of them don't even rush. They just stop that middle out there. Troy Aikman is going to have a clean jersey today. And Eric Williams on his side, he just stopped his guy coming at all. Big Nate Newton and Giesick, they took care of Stubblefield. They made him go back the other way. And if you give Aikman time, I mean, he's probably going to kill you anyway.
Right.
But if you give him time, he's going to commit surgery on you.
Which is just what he's done to the 49ers so far. 28-7, Dallas leading. Murray set to kick it off. Will follow Gant down again. Line drive kickoff in the direction of Dexter Carter, who's going to leave it in the end zone. No return. The 49ers have got some work ahead of them. Look at the time of possession and yards so far. They just haven't had the ball.
No, and then when they do get it, the Dallas Cowboy defense has really been going after Steve Young, and I think as this score mounts like this for the Cowboys, I think the pressure is going to mount on Steve Young. Those last 2 games of the regular season, maybe they didn't mean anything, but the Houston Oilers and the Philadelphia Eagles both went after him.
That's Waters in motion and Young back to throw. He's going to have to throw on just about every down from now on. Logan out of the backfield, outside to about the 28, stopped by Norton.
Yeah, the other thing, we see no huddle here, but the other thing the Cowboy defense has done is contain Steve Young well, because he hasn't been able to run yet either.
Young has to bring it down and tried to run. Tripped up by Jeff Coat. Young calls the timeout. The veteran Jim Jeffcoat around Steve Young's ankle. 28-7, Dallas over the 49ers.
Your back works hard all day.
That was a San Francisco timeout, so they have 2 left. Coverage on Rice.
They're doing an excellent job. I mean, Larry Brown has really come up big for the Cowboys in this first half.
3rd down. Logan will get the 49er first down, where the clock continues to run. Don't forget to stay with us at the half. Coming up, Greg Terry and Matt Millen with their thoughts about the first half. Wonder what George Seifert's thoughts are about the first half.
Well, you know that you're going to have one more half of football in this season if you don't win. So the thing that you always talk about, you know, there's not a lot of ranting and raving. You got to think about how you can get back in and, one, knock them out of rhythm and get a rhythm for yourself. And you always think when you're behind like this, let's go out and play it like it's nothing. I mean, we can't play like we're way behind and, you know, we have a half to play, but let's start and build a foundation for the second half and do to them in the second half what they did to us in the first half.
Well, they have the weapons to do it, but Jimmy Johnson is not about to let down in any fashion.
Well, and Troy Aikman is hot. I mean, you talk about a hot player and a hot quarterback. There's no hotter player in the NFL right now than Troy Aikman.
4 wide receivers for the 49ers. Beach and Turner join the regular 2. Good coverage again on Rice. Good pressure by Jimmy Jones on Steve Young.
These corners of the Cowboys have stepped up. You know, we saw Larry Brown on the other side. Here it is, Kevin Smith. You see, he just gives him a bump. He's just step for step, stride for stride, all the way down the field with Jerry Rice. That's who they try and get the big play to. Jimmy Jones makes him throw it at the time he did and maybe take a little off it, but that was still good coverage by Kevin Smith.
2nd and 10 with 19 seconds left in the first half. 3-man rush by Dallas. Steve Young throws out of bounds. Jerry Rice made the reception, goes up under the bench. But he's okay.
Even though that one doesn't go, that was still a heck of a catch.
Yeah. Out of bounds, whatever. It's still a heck of a catch.
But, you know, we talk about Larry Brown, and he's really come up big in his first half. You see, he got between Jerry Rice and Steve Young. And the only place that Steve Young could throw that ball, if it weren't going to be an interception, was out of bounds.
Right.
This guy's come up big in this half. I mean, he's played the pass well, and he's also played, remember, a couple of those runs early.
3rd and 10 with 13 seconds left. Young gives on the draw play to Waters, who's caught by Russell Maryland. Maryland hurt his ankle earlier. Not going to play too much, but one effective play. That's the end of the first half with the score. Dallas 28, San Francisco 7.
CBS Sports coverage of the NFC Championship Game is sponsored by the all-new Ford Mustang. It is what it was and more. Miller Lite, great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? Cellular One, clear across America. And by the American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
This was Super Bowl 27. Los Angeles was host to the National Football League Sports Spectacular. But even before the players took the field, NFL Charities was already creating a lasting legacy. NFL owners met with community leaders and voluntary organizations. The vision was to build an NFL youth education town. Commissioner Paul Tagliabue.
We've made a commitment to work with the young people in the community here to give them opportunities that every young child should have.
You know, it makes me feel good to see that the National Football League and the players have chosen to get involved in something.
This is a 7 News special report.
I'm Byron Barnett, live in Mattapan at the Chevu roller skating rink, the scene of a multiple shooting. There was a shooting here, several shootings a short time ago here at the Chevu roller skating rink. Inside here, several young people were here skating. We understand 6, perhaps 7 people may have been shot in what was a scene described by many youngsters as a really wild and terrifying scene. The kids say that 4 or 5 young men in hooded sweatshirts, black hooded sweatshirts wearing ski masks, came into the roller skating rink and started firing away, hitting several children. We talked to some of the kids who were here at the time, and here's what they had to say.
We was in there skating, and then we was skating there and everything. The next thing you know, all we heard was gunshots, people running in, and they had hoods and everything going. And after everybody was ducking, everybody was crying, a lot of little kids and stuff.
As we said, 6, perhaps 7 children shot here at the Chevu roller skating rink on Blue Hill Avenue in Mattapan. Most of the injuries are not serious. However, one person we understand was injured seriously. 5 of the youngsters were taken to the hospital in ambulances. 2 went in their own cars. Details are still sketchy now because the police are here on the scene. Informational Services is going to come down and talk to us. Let me check inside here. Police are inside investigating now. There's not much information we can tell you more about it right now, but we will have more for you later on 7 News at 11. At the store here live in Mattapan, I'm Byron Barnett, 7 News.
This has been a 7 News special report. We now return to regularly scheduled programming.
Done a beautiful job. There's Emmitt Smith for a little touchdown pass, but they've dominated, totally dominated the defensive line of the 49ers.
All right, Terry and Matt, the winner of this game goes on to Atlanta 1 week from today, and there they will meet the Buffalo Bills, who today knocked off the Kansas City Chiefs. The Bills earning their 4th straight trip to the Super Bowl. 30-13 was the final score. Thurman Thomas, 186 yards and 3 touchdowns in the Buffalo victory today. Now, while the football season hurtles to its climax, the winter sports season is about to reach its peak. Soon, we'll be on our way across the ocean to a land where snow and ice are a way of life. The 17th Olympic Winter Games begins less than 3 weeks from today with the opening ceremony on February the 12th at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And we'll send it back to Pat Summerall and John Madden when our CBS Sports coverage of the NFC Championship continues after this word from your local station.